Did you know that the average person hears 100,000 words every day? That's a lot of noise. But here's the shocker, only 5% of it sticks. What makes that 5% so special? It's not just about what's said, it's about how it's said. And guess what? Stories are what we remember. From ancient cave drawings to modern movies, humans are wired for stories. In fact, a study by Princeton University found that stories can synchronize the brainwaves of the storyteller and the listener. That's right, your brain actually syncs with the person telling the story. Wild, right? Now, think about this. When you hear the words, "once upon a time," something clicks in your brain. It's like a switch is flipped, and you're ready to listen. But why does that happen? Why are these words so powerful? In this video, we'll uncover the science behind storytelling, the tricks that make your stories unforgettable, and how you can use simple strategies to become a great storyteller. We'll talk about secret psychological hooks, relatable characters, and even the magic of silence. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know why those four little words, "once upon a time," have lasted for centuries, and how you can use them to make your stories stand out. Chapter 1. The secret psychology behind once upon a time, 4 simple words that have the power to instantly grab attention. But why? It's more than nostalgia, it's rooted in how our brains are wired. According to research from Harvard University, humans are naturally attracted to stories because they activate multiple areas of the brain, not just the language center. Storytelling triggers our sensory cortex, making us feel the story as if we're in it. When you start with "once upon a time," it signals the brain to prepare for a narrative journey. It's a subconscious cue that says, something interesting is about to happen. In fact, a study by psychologist Paul Zak found that well-told stories can cause a spike in oxytocin, the trust hormone, helping listeners feel more connected to the storyteller. So, using this phrase isn't just a trope, it's a tool to build trust and engagement from the get-go. It doesn't have to be literal. You can create your own version of "once upon a time." For example, starting with, "You won't believe what happened last week," or "Here's a crazy thing that happened to me." The point is to set the expectation that a story is coming. This pulls people in, making them eager to hear more. Chapter 2. Crafting relatable characters that mirror the audience. Every great story has a hero, but the real magic happens when that hero feels familiar. Research shows that stories with relatable characters increase audience engagement by up to 47%, Journal of Media Psychology. People naturally gravitate toward characters who reflect aspects of their own lives, struggles, or dreams. That's why the most memorable stories are often the ones where the audience sees a bit of themselves in the protagonist. Think of Harry Potter. He's not just a wizard, he's a kid who feels like an outsider, which is something many people can relate to. When your audience can put themselves in the shoes of your character, they become emotionally invested. This investment drives engagement and makes your story unforgettable. To make your characters relatable, don't just focus on their strengths, highlight their flaws and vulnerabilities. No one connects with perfection. Show your characters' fears, insecurities, and struggles, because that's what makes them human. As author Brené Brown says, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. By allowing your characters to be vulnerable, you're inviting your audience to connect on a deeper level. Chapter 3. Tension, Timing, and Twists. The pulse of great stories. A story without tension is like a flat soda, bland and forgettable. Tension is what keeps your audience glued, waiting to see what happens next. In fact, suspense activates the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for processing emotions like fear and excitement. A study by the University of California found that tension-filled stories cause higher activity in the brain's attention networks, making people more focused and engaged. Timing is everything when it comes to building this tension. It's about pacing, knowing when to slow down and when to speed up. Don't rush to reveal all your secrets too soon. Keep your audience guessing. One effective strategy is to use cliffhangers or open-ended questions. For example, "But little did she know, that decision would change everything." Now, your audience is hooked, eager to see what happens next. Twists add a layer of unpredictability. They keep your audience on their toes and prevent your story from becoming predictable. Great twists don't just shock for the sake of shock, they're woven into the fabric of the narrative. As Alfred Hitchcock once said, there is no terror in the bang, only in the anticipation of it. A well-timed twist plays on the audience's expectations, delivering a surprise that feels earned, not random. Before we move on, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on how to make your storytelling unforgettable. We've still got some amazing strategies ahead that you won't want to miss. Chapter 4: Storytelling Through Silence. The power of pauses. When it comes to storytelling, what you don't say can be just as powerful as what you do. Pauses, or moments of silence, can be a storyteller's secret weapon. They allow your audience to absorb what's being said and create tension that keeps them hanging on your next word. According to research from the University of Michigan, well-placed pauses can increase audience retention by 29%. Pauses give your listeners time to process and internalize your story. Think of it like music. The spaces between the notes are what make the melody memorable. Similarly, pauses in a story allow the emotional weight of a moment to sink in. When you pause before a big reveal or after a significant event, it gives the audience time to feel the impact. It's in these moments of silence that the power of your words is amplified. But how do you use pauses effectively? First, understand that not all pauses are created equal. A dramatic pause before revealing something crucial can create suspense. A brief silence after a powerful line lets your audience reflect on its meaning. Comedian Dave Chappelle, known for his storytelling, often uses long pauses after punchlines, giving the audience time to laugh and think. When you're telling a story, pay attention to the natural rhythm. Let the pause come where it feels right. Don't rush to fill every silence with words. Sometimes, the pause speaks louder. As the saying goes, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Chapter 5: Emotional Echoes. How to make your story stay with them. We all remember stories that touched us emotionally. This is because emotions create stronger memories. A study by Princeton University showed that emotionally charged stories cause our brains to synchronize with the storytellers, creating a deep connection. When a story stirs emotion, it's more likely to stay with your audience long after they've heard it. The trick to creating emotional echoes in your storytelling is to tap into universal feelings, things everyone experiences, like love, fear, loss, or joy. These are emotions that don't just resonate but echo. For example, think of Pixar's Up. The opening sequence of Carl and Ellie's life together makes us feel both love and heartbreak in just a few minutes. It's universal, relatable, and unforgettable. To do this in your own storytelling, show, don't tell. Instead of saying, "He was sad," describe his slumped shoulders, the way he couldn't meet anyone's gaze. Let the audience feel the emotion through imagery and actions. Use metaphors, comparisons, or sensory details to bring the emotion alive. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio once said, "We are not thinking machines. We are feeling machines that think." People connect through emotions first, logic second. Another technique is to revisit emotions at key points in your story. Emotional echoes occur when you bring back a feeling or theme from earlier in the narrative, reinforcing its impact. If your character experienced loss early on, returning to that loss later creates a ripple effect, making the emotion even stronger. This is how you leave a lasting impression. Before you go, make sure to subscribe for more storytelling insights. Keep practicing these techniques, and soon enough, your stories will leave a lasting impression.